Happy Manifesting Monday. Again, I am so honored to be spending some time with you, my darling, my soul sibling, my fabulous Facebook friend. So today I want to talk to you about being happy, being fulfilled, living a life that you love. So a lot of times people say, Tammy, if I get this or if I manifest that, I'll be happy. But often, if we dig a little deeper, the reason we want what we think we want is because we think we're going to feel better once we have it, right? So say, for instance, you want a relationship. When we start asking the questions, well, why? Well, because I want to feel love, because I want to feel connection, I want to feel supported. And in a romantic relationship, you get that kind of that euphoria for a while, right? If somebody's saying, I want more money, it's because maybe they want more freedom or they want a sense of power, right? So if somebody's saying, I really want a fulfilling career, well, why is that? Because I'll have a sense of purpose and contribution. I'll feel like I matter. Or somebody might say, well, I just want vibrant health. I want my body to feel good. And why is that? Well, so that I can feel good, so that I can feel alive, right? So often we want what we want because we think we're going to feel better. If we can look beneath why we want what we want, it's because we will feel better. But the thing is, if we don't live with an open heart, we can't feel much of anything. If we're living from our minds, we're not going to have that feeling sense of being happy, of being fulfilled. So I always suggest to people, rather than going from the outside in and trying to get or accomplish or manifest things, why don't we start to turn our attention inward and start to focus on those qualities that we're really trying to manifest. The happiness, the fulfillment, the sense of peace, the sense of freedom. Those are internal experiences, and they come from residing in our hearts and living in an open-hearted way, right? So I don't know a human being alive that hasn't experienced hurt, heartbreak, betrayal, disillusionment. That is part and parcel of this human experience of living life separate from our Creator, which is why we're here. We're here to explore and experience and create and see what we can do of our own accord. That's the deal here. It's a planet of duality, free will, and choice. So we do that, but because we are disconnected, we do experience hurt, heartbreak, disillusionment, betrayal, etc. So then we start to build, hello Sandy, hey Maggie, I love you guys. So we start to build layers of protection around ourselves, right? We start to build up walls so that we don't continue to feel hurt, which is understandable. It's maybe impossible not to do that. It's just the natural consequence. If we're hurt, we're going to try to move away from that. We're going to try to protect ourselves. So we build walls around our hearts. I was no different. I had very thick walls around my heart for a great deal of my life, and then wondered why I didn't feel good. It was because I was disconnected from my heart. I was disconnected from my connection to source, my higher self, and to life. And so then I kept thinking, well, if I get this, if I get that, if I do this, I'll do that, I'll finally feel better. But nothing ever worked. What we need to do is turn our attention inward and start to work on dismantling our heart walls. And it can be painful. It can be challenging. Most of us have unprocessed feelings, unprocessed pain, unprocessed hurt and heartbreak. And so when we build those walls around our hearts, we don't really protect ourselves from hurt that's coming to us. We may numb ourselves out, but what we are doing is locking the hurt and the betrayal and the pain inside of ourselves. And then we wonder why we don't feel that good. Hey, Natalie from France. Thank you, sweet thing. I'm so happy to see you here. So the only way I know of to get back to that place of sweetness and peace and freedom and happiness. Hey, Jill, Mexico. No kidding. Feliz Navidad. That's wonderful. The only way I know to get back to that sense of connection, joy, peace, fulfillment, freedom, vibrant health is to dissolve our heart walls, to melt those layers of protection so that we can feel more engaged with life, so we can feel more connected to one another and to God. So a lot of times when people will say to me, Tammy, I just feel like I'm on the outside looking in. And it's not because life isn't trying to participate with you. It's because you've disconnected your connection to be able to authentically participate with life and with others. So you can't be in an intimate relationship with other people. You can't have that sense of intimacy, connection, fulfillment if you've got layers of protection. And it seems we can't have it both ways. Of course, we want to protect ourselves. Of course, we don't want to hurt. And we want to be happy. But what do you want the most? Do you want protection or do you want connection? So that's what it boils down to. Do you want a sense of being alive and being on purpose and being fulfilled? I don't think you can have your heart walls and have that. So it really comes down to, what are your priorities? What are your intentions? So of course, we want to protect ourselves, but we're here to feel. Hey, Letitia, hey, honey, I love you. I'm so happy you're here for this conversation. So, like I said, it's not easy, layers of protection. And I think this deserves compassion for ourselves and compassion for the human experience, because it hurts to be human. It's part and parcel of the deal here. But when we pinch ourselves off to one end, protecting ourselves from sadness, hurt, and heartbreak, we pinch ourselves off from our feeling sense of joy, fulfillment, love, peace, intimacy. We pinch ourselves off from each other. We pinch ourselves off from feeling alive. We pinch ourselves off from our connection to God. So I think the only way to really live a fulfilling, joyful, authentically purposeful, peaceful, blissful life is to open our hearts and to live in alignment with our soul, with Source, and therefore we're able to do it with one another. Funny thing is, once we get to that place for within ourselves, well, Gina, aren't you going to USM? That's how I peeled a lot of the layers off. But I'm going to go into some of the ways that we can start to do that here and now. So when we, it takes courage to be able to peel off the layers. It takes courage to be able to say, yes, you know what? I want to feel. I want to be more engaged with life. I want to crack open my heart. And we rarely go from kind of a shut down, protected state to a wide open life. This is what I was going to say. Once I've opened my heart and I'm living more from this place of connection, it's pretty clear to me when I connect with people if their hearts are open or if they're closed. And if somebody has a closed heart, it can look a lot of different ways. They can be mean. They can be angry. They can be frowning all the time. I used to take those things personally when I would see people looking at me that direction with that expression on their face. Perhaps they're in judgment. I realize now it has nothing to do with me. They're hurting humans and they deserve compassion. I don't take that on anymore. I'm able to stay in my compassion and in my loving and in my connection, in my open heart, even if others don't have an open heart. Because this work takes a lot of work. It's not for everyone. In fact, I think it's kind of rare for somebody to really do this work. And another way of stating this is to awaken. When we talk about awakening, what is that? It's awakening to our love. It's awakening to living a heart-based life. It's, to me, it is connecting with Christ consciousness within ourselves. I think that's the second coming, us waking up to our own divinity. And we can't do it through our mind. It's not an intellectual process. It's a feeling process. So again, what are some of the things that we can do to start to melt those heart walls, to start to dismantle the layers of protection? I'm going to go right into that after I read what Gina has said to me. So much pain surfaced after each effort to peel back, perhaps from the intense pain. You know, and that is a good point. We can maybe want it, but maybe don't want it. And that can be that battle between the heart and the head. Sure, it's easy to say, I want to live an open-hearted life. But this is often where the ego comes in, which is the edging God out. And that sense of disconnection to be able to protect ourselves and to live our life on our terms, to be able to be in control of our reality. So it can be a battle between the head and the heart. It can be a battle between wanting to dismantle the heart walls and then build them back up. That push-pull, that, the war within. And that can go on for years. It can go on for a lifetime. It went on for many years with me, but I'm grateful to say that my heart finally won. Doesn't mean that the mind doesn't come in sometimes and I don't start to stress or worry or go into disconnection, but I don't stay there as long as I used to. When I'm in pain, I realize it's because I am in disconnection. I have walls around my heart. And my teachers would say all of our pain comes from our perceived disconnection from God. What disconnects us from God? The walls around our heart, right? So as soon as I feel pain, I realize, oh, it's because I'm disconnected from God. How can I reconnect? How can I realign? How can I let down the barriers between me and God? Because he didn't put him there. I put him there. And it's usually a subconscious thing. It's not a conscious thing. It's a very natural human thing to do, again, which benefits from the quality of self-compassion. And again, compassion for the whole human experience. So Allie, so true. When I'm in a dark place, I isolate myself from the others, opposite what I should be doing. And shooting on ourselves. It's like what we think we need to do. And when we judge or beat ourselves up or shoot on ourselves, we're even creating more disconnection from our own hearts and our connection to God. Yeah, our pain comes from our perceived disconnection from God. And often, what we should do is I just did what I said we shouldn't do. What we would benefit from doing is like, who can I talk to that could hold me in compassion? How can I speak of my feelings right now? Because there isn't a human being alive that hasn't experienced hurt and heartbreak. We feel so alone when we're in it, but the truth is we're all one, and we've all experienced those things as a human being, a spiritual being having a human experience. So Letitia, I honor the protection because not everyone I had your best interest at hand. Very true. This is going to be boundaries and discernment. The difference is doing it by choice versus fear. Very good to be aware of what you're doing and how you want to do it with some intention rather than allowing that knee-jerk response of fear to be in the driver's seat. Very, very good point. Sometimes pain lets you know you're dealing with a toxic person and need to change friends. Yes. And again, so to me, this is about boundaries and discernment. I see people in my life, they're hurting a lot and they're kind of flailing and they're kind of flinging their pain about, if you will. I can have compassion, but I'm going to move away from that. I've got a couple situations like that in my life right now. I love you. I have compassion for you, but I'm not going to subject myself to this dance or your behavior. So I'm going to take myself and go over here and connect with more people that I feel are more of a vibrational fit for me. So very good point, Letitia. I agree with you 100%. So now I want to talk about some of the things that we can do to start to crack our hearts open and to dissolve our hurts and heartbreaks so that we can be in that more aligned, connected, fulfilled, happy, peaceful place within ourselves and therefore in life. Okay. So let's see here. What we can do is, first of all, have the awareness. I guess my heart isn't all the way open because I don't feel good. I don't feel happy. I don't feel connected. I feel like I'm on the outside looking in. So to have the awareness and then set the intention. My intention is to crack my heart open. My intention is to live in a more open-hearted way within myself and therefore with others and with life. So one of the easiest and most powerful ways of starting to dismantle our heart walls and crack our hearts open is to meditate. You know, I say all the time, prayer is talking to God, meditating is listening to God. So it's good to have the conversations with God and say, God, you know what? I have this awareness that my heart is shut down and that I'm hurting and I really want to live in a more open-hearted way. Can you help me? I don't think we can put out a request that God doesn't hear and that answers in some way. We may not always get what we want when we want, the way we think we want, but we are heard. And I think these conversations are the most important ones we can have. I think we need to be able to have conversations with everybody that matters to us. Communication is good, but communication with our higher self and with God is, to me, the most important conversation we can have. So say the things you want to say. Hi, Jenny Bronner. I love you. Jenny Wenzel. So have those conversations with your creator. And maybe you don't believe in him. Maybe you don't believe in a God or a spirit or creative intelligence. You can even say that. I'm not sure I believe in you, but I'm willing to have this conversation, even if it's crazy. To crack your mind open to that, I think is so powerful. The second thing we can do is to meditate. And it doesn't have to be a hard, weird, confusing thing. People, well, I tried to meditate and it didn't work. That's like saying, well, I tried to lift weights and it didn't work. Keep doing it. Just start light, start easy. Just move your body a little bit, right? Same way with meditating. You can start easy, you can start light. One of the simplest, but yet most powerful meditations that I do is simply taking my awareness from my head, my thinking, my mind, the monkey mind, and allowing my energy to just drop into my heart. And when I notice I'm thinking again, bring it back down to my heart. Okay? And you can actually imagine the walls of your heart starting to dissolve. You can imagine, if it resonates for you, that your heart is starting to crack open. If you're a visual person, you may sense colors, or you can ask your heart what it looks like, and then imagine it opening, expanding. Maybe there's a door. And when I started to do this, I actually did feel some constriction, like it hurt. It literally hurt in my chest when I started to do this, which would indicate that this really needs to happen. So just imagine your heart opening. Ask your heart to open. Have a conversation with your heart. How are you feeling? And it may say sad. It may say lonely. Be available for that conversation with your heart. Be available to see it in your mind's eye and feel, just feel its feelings and see its colors or shape. And as you have the conversation, or just sit with your breath and imagine an opening, you might feel a shift. Maybe it'll start to feel a warmth or tingling, or you may feel some kinesthetic or visceral sensations. This is good. It means something's working. So to just imagine our hearts opening, to feel that sense of open-heartedness, that sense of connection to yourselves. Also, to give yourself permission to feel whatever feelings you feel. A long time ago, people would say, well, how does it make you feel, Tammy? I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, because I was so disconnected from my own sense of feeling. And then wondered why I couldn't find happiness. Happiness is a feeling. It has to come from your heart. So give yourself permission to feel. And perhaps you've got a lot of unshed tears. Perhaps you have a lot of unprocessed anger, a lot of hurts where you know you've been taken advantage of. You know you've been treated badly and poorly. So maybe you do have some anger that needs to be expressed. Maybe you do have some tears that need to be cried. And I would suggest either maybe finding a trusted friend that you can have some conversations with about for the intention of healing. Not to just continue to tell your sad story, but say, you know what, I want to talk about this because my intention is to clear it so that I can live in a more open-hearted and connected, joy-filled way, peaceful way. So to give ourselves permission to be angry, you know, and at USM, we would get a plastic bat and beat things up. I did that a lot in the privacy of my own home to allow my anger to come up and out when I would feel it. And they also suggested getting a bunch of onions and smelling the onions and allowing the tears to come up and out as kind of a healing process, a ritual. Very powerful, very effective. I've said this a lot. If you have 100 tears to cry, 98 will not be enough. So we want to get all of those old, held, ancient tears out of us and that heartbreak. And when we do, it's sort of like the clouds part, the sun can start to come out. We start to feel better. Like I said, we don't often go from a closed down heart to a wide open heart. It's a process. It's layers, like an onion. So Gina, hurt indicating this needs to happen, wrote it down to remind me. If you're hurting, there is healing available for you. Our truest nature, our spiritual nature, is one of connection, of peace, of love, of joy, of celebration, of bliss. It's a cosmic love affair. spiritual beings having a human experience. Our spiritual nature is a sense of profound bliss, profound joy. It's all the things I talked about in the beginning of the video. It's freedom. It is celebration. It is reverence. It is euphoria. It is connection. It is peace. It is this vibrant, light-filled experience of life. It's synchronicity. It's God winks. It's support. But we can't have that if we don't heal our human hurts. Having tears just for me discussing this topic. Oh, I'm honored, Gina. Let those tears come up and out. That is an incredible honor. I say all the time, my favorite things are tears and laughter. Tears and laughter, both the extremes of our human experience here. God catches every tear. Yeah, if you've watched The Shack, I catch every tear. It's a beautiful movie. If you haven't seen The Shack or read the book by William Paul Young, I recommend that so highly. I rarely see movies more than once. I saw that one 5 times, maybe 6, and I would see it again and again and again. Beautiful story about dealing with our hurts and heartbreaks as human beings, and how we can get to that place of faith and peace that is on the other side and available to every one of us. But it takes a lot of courage, because we as individuals have to do our own work to get across to the other side, to be able to transcend this limited reality of duality, and to be able to awaken and ascend to these higher vibrations of heaven that we can have on earth if we say yes to opening our hearts and healing our hurts and awakening to our divine nature. No one can do it for you, and you can't do it for anyone. This is essentially between you and God, you and your own soul and source. The most important relationship any of us can have. So we're at 21 minutes, and I always say I'm going to go short today, and I never do when I do it live, because I'm so happy to be connecting with you and seeing you here with me. And it's just an incredible honor and privilege to be having these conversations and seeing you and having you participate. This is just so fulfilling for me. So as I sometimes like to do, I would like to do a prayer here. If you'd like to participate and receive this and be part of the energy of this, I invite you to do so. And so let's just take that wonderful healing, cleansing breath, and imagine, if you will, dropping your awareness into the space of your heart and just taking a nice couple of easy healing breaths. And imagine, if you will, any layers of hurt or heartbreak starting to just naturally relax, start to melt, start to dissolve. Knowing you're safe, knowing you're supported, knowing you're loved. I'm here and loving on you right now. You have angels around you that are holding you and so proud of you, holding you in compassion and respect. And God is here with us as well. It is said, when 2 or more come together, it is guaranteed that God is here with us. So He is, she is here with us now. So dear Spirit, Father, Mother, God, Lord of all creation, just now we invite you into these moments that we're spending together. Just now I'm requesting a special prayer and blessing for the one that is listening to my voice right now, that they can feel and sense your presence, that they can start to dissolve and let go of the walls of protection they have placed around themselves, knowing in this moment that they are safe, that they are supported, that they are seen, that they are loved, and that they are profoundly adored, that your love is unconditional and unfathomable. May we open our hearts to receive this sense of peace and connection and joy and love, because we know, God, that you are the one that is breathing us. We are not doing this of our own accord. May our breath support us and remind us that we are in connection to our soul, to our spirit, and to you, dear God. And may the one that hears my voice right now start to relinquish and release, surrender and melt the walls that they've placed around their hearts to protect them from any further hurt and heartbreak in the world. May they start to feel and experience compassion for their stories, for their own hurts and heartbreaks. May they start to sense the compassion and support of the angels around them. May we open our minds and hearts to perceive and see the God winks and the grace that is here for us in this moment and always. May the path that you would have each of us walk for our highest good, considering our unique destinies, our unique talents, our gifts, our own personal contracts and curriculums. Can these paths be made clear before us, one step at a time, as we move closer and closer to you? Dear God, I'm so grateful for these souls that are spending time with me and you here and now. They are such a blessing and a gift in my life, and I know they are in yours as well. May they start to know, believe, perceive, and feel that in a deeper and deeper way. May they know how important and special, how sacred and gorgeous they are from your perspective. Thank you for this relationship. Thank you for our friendships. Thank you for the blessings in our lives. Thank you for the walls around our hearts being dismantled and disconnecting and supporting us and more fully aligning with you, with our lives, with one another, so that we may live a life of heaven on earth, the Garden of Eden, of grace, ease, graciousness, fulfillment, freedom, and great love. Thank you for the gifts and blessing of life. Thank you for all the blessings in our life that are currently here. And thank you for all the gifts, blessings, beauty, bounty, God wink, synchronicity, miracles that are on their way to us now. We open our minds and our hearts wide to receive them in grace, graciousness, and with profound gratitude. For this and for all things, as always, we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. So to my dear, beautiful friend, thank you for spending a little time with me here today. I hope you're feeling a sense of relief and able to take a deeper breath. I hope that you're starting to feel more comfortable in your skin. I hope there's some things here that resonate for you and support you in opening your mind a little wider, your heart a little wider. That is my intention for this new decade, to live in a more expanded, heartfelt, present, beautiful way. And I have to tell you, the more I open my heart, the better my life gets. It's as simple and difficult as that. So again, I hope this supports you in some small way. It's my honor and pleasure and privilege to be connecting with you. You are a gift and blessing in my life. And I look forward to continuing the conversation. Please, please, please be in touch with me. Email me. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Did this help you at all? I'd be happy to send you a guided meditation to support you. Let me know what's going on so I can figure out which meditation would be best for you. Email me at tammybphd@gmail.com, or you can private message me here on Facebook. Let's continue the conversation, because I think we're spiritual rock climbers. My intention is to traverse up this mountain, going to those higher levels of consciousness with you, holding your hand. And sometimes you hold my hand, and sometimes you're here and I'm there, and we're just doing this, right? So it's a joy to be on the journey with you. I'm so honored by your presence, and I love you from the bottom of my wide open heart. So take good, gentle care of yourself. Cry your tears, allow your anger to come up and out, and let's continue to just talk, celebrate, have conversations, meditate, pray, and also, if you need another tool, that's what this is: manifesting love from the inside out. It's about opening your heart. It's about living aligned with your soul. And everything we want comes from that. Go for God, and all things will be added unto thee. That's my personal experience. So that's what I teach. So God bless you. Take good, gentle care of yourself. I love you. I love you. I love you. So take care of you. You're lovable and loved. And let's journey forward, onward, and upward together. God bless you. Bye for now.